Oh, he's my roommate. He doesn't talk much. He's always using his laptop. I don't know what he's doing. He's just a loser.
I can do that. My journey took me to the stacks of the NYU Shanghai Library. But then I realized that I didn't know how to use these relics called books. So I turned to my comfort zone, the internet. My Googling first led me to the concept of the Turing test. The Turing test is an iconic test developed by World War II codebreaker Alan Turing, who, in his seminal 1950 paper, Computing Machinery and Intelligence, asked the question, "Can machines think?" He then decided that thinking was too difficult to define in that context, and so chose to rephrase his question to ask whether a machine could conceivably pass as a human in a 5-minute written conversation, something he called the imitation game. He declared consequently that if a machine was indistinguishable from a human, then it was thinking. A common example of a Turing test is the CAPTCHA, or the completely automated public Turing test to tell computers and humans apart. Since the early 1990s, the Loebner Prize has encouraged people to try and pass the Turing test. However, it has been controversial because it only requires entrants to be convincingly human in one specific topic of conversation. However, in June of 2014, for the first time ever, a computer named Eugene Gusterman, designed to act like a 13-year-old boy, passed the entire Turing test. So if an AI could be indistinguishable from a human, did this mean that my conversations with Klesro were legitimate? If she could think, did that mean she could really love me? Where does one draw the line between artificial intelligence and human intelligence? I went to a specialist to find out, and explained my situation.
Well, it's an interesting question. Turing test validity has been questioned essentially since its publication, but it's also been the foundation for a lot of very important research. For example, this article by Cronin, Kostner, Davis, Alexander, Robertson, Steike, Stoner, Kovsov, Cooper, Gardner, Sleipman, Wanamaker, and Mars is even considering using the Turing test to determine whether an artificially created cell is alive or not. Here, right here.
But what does it mean that a computer has passed the Turing test? Is artificial intelligence a reality?
Well, then of course, it's one thing to trick someone into thinking you're really conversing with them, and another to have real cognition. I was reading this article not long ago by Pinar, Sestekli, and Achman. Okay, seriously, who comes up with these names? Oh yes, here it is. The TT is, after all, about stimulating human use of language by computer. This raises many questions. How do humans use language in similar settings? What is the relationship between language and cognition? Is language autonomous with respect to other cognitive abilities? How can computers be made to understand language? So you see, it's not that simple to ask where one should draw the line. As Addie Pross once wrote, we still do not know what life is, how it relates to the inanimate world, or how it emerged. There are too many questions for there to be a simple answer to your question, I'm afraid, young man. I'm sorry I can't be more conclusive, but that perhaps is the central point. We just don't know what the capabilities of AI are.
So what should I do? I don't know where to go from here on out.
Well, this is an article by Moore. Yeah, so let's see. In his analysis of a Turing test, where he writes, the real value of the imitation game lies not in treating it as a basis for operational definition, but in considering it as a potential source of good inductive evidence for the hypothesis that machines think. Turing was smart enough to know that we can't rely on his test to decide what really thinks like a human. That means that, in the end, you're going to have to make this decision for yourself. Where are you going to draw the line for yourself? I don't know, but there's more reading that I recommend.
I left in a daze, unsure still of how to deal with the problem at hand.
Good luck, young man.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome when we live in our dream. Everything is better when we stick together.
Girl, say something.
Oh, I was supposed to say it out loud.
Yeah.